Hey everybody, Claire here, and today I am with Brian from Club W. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. Today we're talking about, I think, an event that everyone takes a little seriously.
Yes.
Well, some people take very seriously, a wedding. So I feel like choosing wine for a wedding can be a little challenging because there's budget, it's a lot of people, so a lot of palates, and at the same time you do want it to taste good. But
Right.
also, you know, what tastes good to you might not taste good to everybody. So there's a lot of different things to navigate. So I would love to find out sort of how you think a bride or a bride and groom should navigate the process of picking out a wine that suits their wedding. And then also we're gonna have some fun talking about the champagne toast.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, I mean, talk about a big event, right? So wine is a decision that you should probably knock out early, first of all. And make sure you have plenty of wine for that big day.
Yes. So speaking of plenty of wine, how much wine should you be buying per person?
Always overbuy for parties or anything because you don't want to run out.
Yeah.
Like you got to keep the train moving. Typically, you're going to get 5 glasses of wine out of each bottle of wine. And for the toast, which we'll talk about, you maybe get 7 to 8, depending on how heavy people pour. A good rule of thumb, depending on what kind of group of people you have, you know, if you have like a bunch of kids who are underage who are not drinking, or if you have like a bunch of winemakers and chefs and people and bartenders and people like that who are consuming heavily, you can push the needle either way.
It's like a bottle per person.
Right, yeah, you're like 1-to-1 ratio. You're looking for like, take your number of guests and kind of divide by between 2 and 3.
Okay.
And that should give you like a solid number of bottles that you need. And then from there, you kind of want to break it down into your stylistic categories.
Yeah. And we actually have here, this is the wine that Club W did for my wedding. And you guys did a special label, which is amazing. I know, right? Like homies for life. Like that's amazing. And for me, I knew that we needed a white, we needed a red, but we definitely needed a rosé.
Rosé is such a good look. I mean,
oh yeah.
like it looks great with white, like everybody's dressed up. It's light, it's refreshing, it's kind of low in alcohol. It is like the perfect wine. It just looks great. You feel great drinking it. So I definitely recommend rosé.
Yeah.
And it gets your palate going too.
And it's perfect with food.
Perfect with food.
Yeah, because it tends to be, I mean, rosé tends to actually be quite dry. I mean, I know it's pink, so you think, oh, girly, feminine, sweet, whatever, but it tends to be really dry. But it does have these really awesome either peach or strawberry undertones.
Yep.
So it goes really well with food. Also, it usually has a really awesome price point. And then we have the more traditional, the white and the red. So for the white, I knew that just knowing the group I was with, even though for me, it's like, I like lightly oaked French whites that have like an olive oil vibe, but that is not everyone's cup of tea. I just knew that like my family and my friends are the people who like put ice cubes in their wine.
Right.
They're gonna want something easy and crisp and light when it comes to a white. So Sauvignon Blanc to me was like the kind of obvious place to go.
I think that's an awesome call. That's kind of where I go too. And you're what a thoughtful bride, thinking of your guests and other people and not just yourself and your olive oily white.
Well, that'd be
what a nice person.
Just me
like
on a mountain of olive oily white wines.
I think Sauvignon Blanc is like from either California or from New Zealand is like the perfect call because it goes both ways. It sort of can like swing in the middle. You've got the Pinot Grigio drinkers, dry white drinkers, the senior citizens who can't taste anything. It's fine for them.
It's my dad.
And then it kind of people who like, the moms and things like that, like the richer Chardonnays.
Yeah.
It works for them too because it's got enough fruit.
They'll
so
be
it's
totally
like
fine with it.
Wine.
So I feel like the one though that is probably the most challenging to purchase is the red.
Yes.
Because there's so many places you can go with a red wine. And we ended up going with a Cabernet Sauvignon that, I mean, I love cabs because I love that body. I love the sort of meatiness of it. And knowing my menu, which was like carbonara and like rich pastas and porchetta and a lot of sort of heavy Italian fare, I figured a cab would be a good way to go with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Cab's sort of like the king of red wines, So it's like everybody's familiar with Cab. You kind of can't go wrong with it. And a Cabernet that's got softer tannins, isn't so grippy and kind of wound up and dry, can kind of cross over to lighter dishes. So It's a really nice pairing.
So Cabernet Sauvignon's a pretty good like crossover choice then. Like it goes with quite a few things. It's not gonna kind of get in the way of a lot of food.
Right.
Right. Well, this brings us to probably one of the highlights of the wedding, which is the champagne toast.
Yes.
And a lot of people will not have champagne on the actual wine list because it tends to be very expensive, but they will have it as a toast. So you'll pour a glass for everybody at the wine and then you toast it and then all the champagne's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Happens fast.
Totally. I kind of asked them to squirrel away a bottle for me. I was like, save one. But yes, so there tends to be sort of a limited supply of champagne. So you want to find something that is budget friendly.
Yep.
So I feel like most people, unless they are really emphasizing the wine, are looking for bottles that are just, under $15.
Yeah.
And when it comes to sparkling wine, that can be a challenge.
It's tough.
Yes.
It's tough.
So tell me about the selection you pulled here today, because they look so different.
They are very different. So we've got kind of an interesting selection. So this is just, Gimene is like one of my favorite smaller producers of champagne. This is actually called a grower champagne, or what they call farmer fizz. So they're actually growing the grapes and making it, and it's a much smaller project. But you're still in that sort of like, I don't know, 45 to 60 range probably. But this is just a gorgeous wine. If you can do this,
You can go fancy.
just make it happen.
Yeah.
But like when I see this at a
Or
wedding
maybe
or
this
something,
is like just the bride and groom's table.
yeah, you could like, you can wrap the serviette
hide
around
hide
it and do a nice little
Everyone
pour.
else gets like apple cider.
Yeah. Two categories historically have been awesome for really great value sparkling wines. Cava, which is from Spain, and then Prosecco, which is really widely available. Tends to have a little hint of sweetness, but there's some great versions out there. And those wines run anywhere from, low teens to like low 20s.
But then this brings us to this guy. Tell us a little bit about the Gruet.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit also about like the Cavas and the Proseccos, which are widely available. Great versions, but what I think is kind of exciting is what's happening in American sparkling wine too. This is one that I've been a fan of for a while, that I think is really cool. It's actually from New Mexico.
Oh what?
And they make it just like they make champagne.
Yeah.
What?
I know, what? Hold on. That's crazy, New Mexico.
Yeah, New Mexico. They actually have a similar soil type in this area of New Mexico that they have in Champagne, this chalky soil.
Wow.
And this is like, $13 bottle of wine, but it tastes great. It's made just like champagne, similar soils, and it's from New Mexico.
And then this one, I feel, is this a Club W one?
This is actually our first sparkling
You can
wine.
tell because Club W has the coolest, funnest graphic design.
We got a little loose with this one, actually. So this is, oh snap, I just got married.
Yeah.
Sort of toast thing.
Totally.
But this is Chenin Blanc from California. That we made, and it's our first sparkling wine we made.
Everything about it is so fun, and it seems celebratory to me.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely tried to go in the opposite direction of any other sparkling wine. But yeah, do you want to taste one?
Let's taste the O Snap. I can't wait to
cool.
taste this. I feel like I've heard so much about it, so I'm excited to finally get to taste it. Gosh, I don't know how you can't drink sparkling wine and not just be a little bit happier. Oh, it's just, I could keep my nose in it, just do this for like the whole day. This is delicious. Well, I would like to propose a toast to Club W. And Brian, thank you so much for coming, and may your wine always taste as delicious as this.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
This was so fun, and for all of you brides and grooms out there, I hope that this kind of clarified and gave you some really great jumping off points for choosing your wine for your wedding, because it can be really intimidating.
It can be.
Yes, but I feel like we got some great information here, and remember, if you need to find a kick-ass sparkling wine, oh snap.
Oh snap.
Should I say that with a finger point? That's like a finger gun. Why? I'm so sorry. Anyway, it's absolutely delicious, and yeah, make sure to check out Club W's awesome YouTube channel and them on Instagram as well. We'll have all the information below. But yeah, this was so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for letting us be a part of your special day.
Oh hey, I know, it's so fun. All right, well cool. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.
Cheers.